Rare Portal opens on May 12th, this coming weekend. This CIRF report brought to you by Chris McCleary of the National Dream Center for May 10th through 12th. Welcome here. We've got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. If any of this is new to you, please see the beginner's guide. There is some new stuff in here that is not represented in the beginner's guide, but I welcome you anyway. The DreamBot is showing 3 different memes, and we have in our midst a nativity, a divine birth meme. The top word being, well, Jesus. Jesus, and 3, the Trinity, King James. I mean, hospitals, babies are birthed in a hospital most of the time. You've got a following, good, honor, star. Now, star, here's what's interesting. Southern Star. That one's very interesting because the virgin birth and the 3 wise men, they followed a star, and it was the star to the east. So it wasn't the southern star, but the star to the east drove them to the south. So that's interesting. So we have the southern star there, and then we have wayfinding in the blue, and that's like nose, follow your nose, green light is a go. And then the orange arrows, this is about caution and danger. The first word is danger. The rest of them are kind of other dangerous words and are startling words. And so just be cautious. All right. Now we'll explain this in terms of astrology next. Now we get our things set up. Now this is up here, the 10th. This is Friday, May 10th. And we have our 3 memes: divine birth, caution, and wayfinding. I find it very interesting that wayfinding and proceeding are directly related to caution, danger. I mean, we always pretty much mostly cautious as we proceed forward, I would hope. But anyway, in the stars, we have in the afternoon on Friday, 2:17 p.m., we have the moon squaring up to Uranus. Uranus being all about change and upheaval. Now, this isn't a square. So our memes here that this represents is divine birth. I don't know about divine, but the Uranus changes represent new stuff. There's going to be some new stuff there, and the square indicates probably not going to be in accordance with what you're thinking. I mean, Uranus poses changes that are never in accordance with what you're expecting. Okay. So, but even with a square, going to feel a little bit more disharmonious. And then, so you've got caution and danger. That's obvious. I mean, anytime you've got big changes coming up, that's caution and danger. And then you also have a square with Mercury a little bit later in the evening. That's thinking and communication and that kind of thing. I don't want to make it sound like I'm skipping things, but let's get to the more important stuff. Remember, I'm talking about portal. That's going to be coming on Sunday. So let's talk about Saturday first. And Saturday, we wake up very early in the morning with Sun trine Saturn. Now, Saturn kind of representing the shoulds and aspects that are, maybe like hurdles but it's also showing you a way to grow and a way to move forward. So that's all about wayfinding, but there's caution. Anytime there's Saturn, there's caution. And I might as well zoom in because I can, and I forgot to do that last time. And in the evening, then we've got the moon squaring up to the sun. That's kind of some hard energy. Things are kind of blocked at that point. It's kind of hard to talk to other people. It's just kind of just like some caution there. Then the moon is going to trine to Jupiter. Now this is very harmonious, and it's all about wayfinding. It's about proceeding forward. I mean, that's Jupiter, your planet of fortune and just good times. So that's a C there. That C is the wayfinding and proceeding. So let's go to the next day. Now this is the big one, but there's multiple aspects. So I've got different slides. And we are starting with, well, we got 2 in the morning, and that's going to be Venus trine Moon. And then you've got the moon sextile Mars. That's definitely moving forward. Venus kind of moving into our little, our huge portal meme, but not quite there yet. The moon is preparing, and I need to come out so you can see this. Moon trine Venus. Venus is all about relationships, and so you're kind of preparing for a big birth here. And that's what Venus represents, that romantic side of us. But let's go into the latter part of the day. So this is at 5:32 on Sunday evening. Sun makes its way into tropical Virgo. Holy cow, there's been so much to talk about before us. This took forever to put this surf report together. But here is your portal. It's I-Ching 59. And guess where it is again? Moon is now trine Uranus. Uranus about that change. Remember, we talked about birthing something new. That's Uranus. Something new's coming. But now we've got the moon in Virgo, and Virgo is that archetype of the virgin birth. I mean, the Virgo is that perfect maiden. She's got, very detail oriented and very perfectionistic, and everything is pure. And this is about birth. And so as soon as we come in here, we're into I-Ching 59. And by the way, this represents just this moon going into Virgo by itself. This is even without the trine to Uranus. So the Uranus adds in that divine birth thing. But by itself, moon entering Virgo's got the A, B, and C, which is divine birth, caution. Virgo's got that, I got to make sure that I got all my dots crossed, T's crossed and I's dotted. And then the wayfinding and proceeding forward is very practical, Virgo, and is able to move forward, but practically speaking. So let's check out what 59 is in the I-Ching, right? It is about dispersion. That's what it's called. Hex 59 says the wind drives over the water, the image of dispersion. Thus the kings of the old sacrificed to the Lord and built temples. It's about a sacrifice. Now, here's the quote from the Book of Changes. But only a man who is himself free of all selfish ulterior considerations and who perseveres in justice and steadfastness is capable of so dissolving the hardness of egotism. All right, that's a mouthful. But basically, it is saying that in order to get the benefits of this dispersion and this rebirth, if you will, and the sacrifice, it's ego that has to be sacrificed. Now, here's what's interesting. As we look into our traditional sidereal solution, guess where Uranus is? The land of ego. It is, and if I go here, you can see my cursor right there. You can see Aries. That is quite paradoxical because on the other side of this trine is ego. On the other side of this trine that's trying to birth something new is about ego. And so we have to sacrifice ego. I guess this is representative of Uranus sacrificing, changing, obliterating ego. All right, you ready for the summary solutions? So here's what we need to know. According to the I-Ching and according to the Dreambot, dispersing of the ego from the I-Ching is what births the divine self from this divinity that the collective is clearly seeing. But it requires quieting the mind. That's what this lady's doing here, it appears, and sequestering ego wants and desires. All right, let's look at intervention now. And I don't have any don'ts. I just have do's. Do. Identify and pause all ego desires, cravings, needs, wants on the material plane. Now, this is kind of paradoxical as well because you've got two signs, Virgo and and Aries that are being sacrificed here, because material plane implies Virgo. We're not on that plane now. We're birthing into the portal and birthing the soul's plan on Earth. And this rare portal happens around noon on the Central Time, noon at on Sunday, 5/12/19. So what are we looking to do? Well, we are in coordination with all these triangulated forces. We are experiencing kind of a rare portal into the divine sense of the universe and sense of self. And the reason why this is important is because the virgin birth thing that was clearly in the dream bot, Virgo is clearly in the tropical influence in the astrology on Sunday, starting on Sunday. And the archetype in the Virgo constellation in the zodiac, you've got the Skila, or the star, the main star in the hip area of the Virgo, is apparently what the star is that the Magi followed to the south to get to the baby Jesus. Okay, so I find it amazing if you go back into the Dreambot run how all that is represented. It's I don't know, just to me it's just crazy. And so there is that rare portal, and it's about dispersion and specifically dispersing the ego so that you can make way for the entrance of the soul's plan on this earth. Earth being kind of another paradox, which it is Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. So, all right. I hope that made sense. Try to simplify it. There is some complexity in there, but thanks for rolling with me. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.